I want to talk about some big picture tools that I'll often use when performing a takeoff for a client to give them a better idea of what's going on. Now, one of the big things that I like to use is mass haul diagrams, and I'm in Carlson. Running on top of Civil 3D 2020, and I want to kind of walk you through some of the things that I use to get an idea of how this thing is going to look. So what I've done now is I'm going to look at the cut fill centroids, and that's going to give me, as far as I'm concerned, a site mass haul because I'm looking to get regions of cut, regions of fill, so I can start some mass earth moving. So let's take a look here what we got. So I'm picking existing and finish, and so here's the dialog box. So my region volume tells me what I want for the minimum amount of yardage moved. And when I first do this, I'll start out bigger picture. So I'm going to look at 500 yards or more, and that'll give me an idea, at least from a flyover, how this thing is going to look. And I'm going to ask to report optimize earth movement. I can also use the report formatter so I can do a more specific report that's going to help somebody else. And I'm just going to use the boundary of the job because this is a topo that we flew. And in a minute, I'll show you what the existing topo looked like. But it's pretty dense, and it's going to take a while for this thing to calc. Okay, through the magic of television, I fast forwarded to this thing being finished. And initially, my use of 500 yards or more is a good idea to give me movement because it's only broken this job down into 3 different regions. So we can drop that down and work it into some smaller number to give us an idea. But overall, you'll see that we've got uh, fill and cut regions. So basically, we're taking and kind of pushing this stuff out to here. Now this job is an import, so I'm going to look at this area here as import because we've got a major street up here. So I'm planning the movement of material. The most important thing is I can give the field, if nothing else, if I'm in the process of building data and I'm real busy and I got other things to do, I can take and print this or put this on a screen with 2D line work, and a scraper and dozers can go out and start moving material, do some mass excavation of the big stuff. Another thing that can happen is I can go in and utilities here in these fill areas. If I've got a proposed minimum cover, and every agency has it, let's assume for this one it's 3 feet. If I have storm and sanitary 3 feet or more below these fill areas, I can go in and put that pipe in and then put the fill on top of it so I don't do what we've done for years, which is fill it, compact it, and then go back in and dig it out again. Um, this is a time saver. We do this for a lot of clients. It really leverages the ability to use electronics to make this work. Now, just to show you how this thing looked, what I want to do is kind of take the job and run this command again and look at it in a little bit better detail. So what I have now is I've rerun this report and reduced the area of movement down to 100 yards, and you'll see that we've got some more areas because this is smaller regions of cut and fill. So this can be printed on the screen. I can save this report, and now I get a better idea of cut and fill regions where there's 100 yards or more per region, and that gives me a little bit better detail. It's a real good way to get information to bring to the field to get things started, and also maybe report to an owner if we're going to do some kind of value engineering for dirt movement. Now let's take a look at the existing ground and kind of show you what we've got here. So you can kind of see how detailed this takeoff was. This is a drone topo that we did on this project, and there's a lot going on here, and you can see the density of data. So when we're doing that takeoff and we're doing cut film movement, I like to look at a little bit bigger picture because you've got such detail here that you really start to tear up minuscule amounts of dirt when you put this together, and it kind of makes things messy if you're not real careful. So again, take a little bit of a step back, look at big picture, and that's going to give you a lot better idea overall of how this thing is going to look.